Times change. Unscripted, unrestricted, almost under control. Coming to you from Las Vegas at the Quirky Mind Studio with the usual cast of characters. Jen from Mode Salon over here in Aliante. Won't tell you who's in the middle yet because that's big news. Charlie Chelli, myself, Chris Kaggs, and someone I have been dying to have on the show. Made me feel so proper and just excited today. I even wore a hat in his honor. Almost bought a monocle. That's how serious it was. I would like to introduce to you Charles Wanka.
Good day.
Archduke Charles Wanka.
And I think it's going to be
the
very
Archduke
hard to
of
introduce
Lumpaland.
how wonderful
Okay,
he is.
this is the Archduke of Lumpaland. No lie here.
It's an honorary title.
Yes. There's nothing you can do about it.
The scepter.
It's so good to see you here. That is a scepter full of nerds.
It matches
Okay,
my outfit.
that's what that is.
Magical nerds.
Nerds are the new cool.
Magical nerds.
Absolutely.
If you're not
dude.
a nerd, you're not cool anymore.
It started in the 80s and it never stopped.
Nerds!
and hence, so did we, essentially
Yeah.
becoming adults in the 80s. And times change, though. And
Yes, they do.
Here we are again, and wonderful. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence here.
It's my pleasure.
Well, would you give them the pleasure of showing the full attire briefly? And with
No
that
problem.
Oh,
scepter,
yeah, look at this outfit.
I got to tell you
Yes.
something. Very rarely, oh my goodness. Oh my.
It takes a lot to impress Charlie on this level when it comes to clothing.
I will
It really
give,
does.
It
man.
does,
I
I'm
will
telling
give
you.
your
It really
regards
does.
to my
It really,
haberdasher.
no, really, and you know that.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Your haberdashery?
My haberdasher made this for me.
Aha, haberdasher. Unbelievable.
My midget servant made this.
Hey, they're called little people now. They're like,
Little
they
people,
really
that's
don't
right.
Well,
like
that's the
midgets.
thing. Usually he has a 4'5" person dressed as like a 1930s bellhop. Almost looks like the monkey at the organ grinder. Comes in with a different scepter,
He's
bangs
on
it
strike.
3 times and says, announcing Charles Wonka,
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's on strike.
Archduke of Lumpaland.
Do you want to know how funny? Listen,
It's true.
when I had the nightclub at the 11.
Well, you weren't here when he got here. You missed it.
No, listen. I replaced I backed up the line. So while they were on the line, I was able to have cocktail girls from the casino serve them. Right. I removed these 2 vases that were on pedestals,
Yep.
and I put midgets. And they were unbelievable. And I ended up taking one home to New York as an English butler for the weekend because he had these suits that were there. And nobody ever believes the madness, but I have a whole stack of pictures I found on one of my storage sites and a video. But
Polaroids?
what we were going to do is I was opening a freestanding nightclub in Boca Park, and we were building it. One of the things I got was a town bell from like Omaha, old like 1800s. The bouncers were going to pick Benny the midget up and let him hold on to the rope and let go. And as Benny's holding on to the rope, that was going to symbolize the opening of the club each evening at 11 o'clock.
Oh, I love it.
And so I can't...
That's
So
inspiring.
the reason I'm Archduke of Lumpaland was my stepfather had enslaved a bunch of little people to run his chocolate factory, and I won it when I was 7 years old
Wow.
in a contest. And by 11, he was dead of diabetes. And
Sorry
I had
to hear
four wrongful death lawsuits and a bunch of OSHA complaints because, as it turns out, he wasn't paying the Oompa Loompas anything to run the chocolate factory. And so
Broke the union.
Here I am at the age of 11 with nothing but lawyers and nothing but wrongful death lawsuits. And everybody's like, it must have been nice to own that giant factory. No, it was a bunch of problems. And at the end of the day, we took what was left after we sold everything to Nestle and we put it all into projection mapping and immersive worlds. And now what we're doing here in Las Vegas, which I'm very excited to talk about, is a land of dreams, a projection map wonderland. It's at Area 15. It's Gallery 360. And what we want to do is immerse you for 30 minutes. It comes with a free drink. It's $20. And so what we're going to be doing with our first show is called Quantumplate. That's going to be showing again in about a week. That's Max Cooper, Darpen from Temple Step Project, and a 25-minute, a bit of a mind bleep, if you will, but we're trying to just give people a media hug and let them know it's going to be all right. And then our next show, which I am actually announcing on this program, is called Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun.
Set the controls for the
So
heart
that
of
is
the
the
sun.
last the last song that Sid Barrett did before we took that coffee with all the hits in it.
Ooh.
And
the fatal
and
LSD trip from Sid Barrett.
which became Wish You Were Here and all the
inspiration.
Yeah. So
The Wall, everything.
So we're going to go to space at Area 15, and I want to invite all of you guys to come along. It will be going by
God.
first week of February.
And I'm just
Loving
finding
it.
out about a lot of this.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, got to tell them even a little slower. Some of the stuff you said is so wonderful, but you're speeding by it. So Area 15 is where we had Jumbie as a guest,
Correct.
and Jumbie collaborated, and you were responsible for that.
I am the creative director of Gallery 360 and co-founder.
Okay, and Gallery 360 makes these little 3D image wonderful
300. No,
world.
they're not 3D. They're 360
Sorry.
projection
Yes.
mapping
Okay.
with a badass soundtrack.
Okay, and I've seen so much of your work, and I'm in awe of it, man. And I'm going to tell you
It's a
something.
planetarium on steroids.
Correct.
That's what it is.
But Area 15 would not be there if not for you.
No.
We can
maybe.
clearly say that.
We made it a bit better. It still would have been there. But what we're going to do is put some domes in it and do some very exciting things for 2021. We just have to wait for this virus to calm down a bit.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And where can they look at that? What you just showed me, the domes in Cali.
So that's wisdom.la. That is
Wisdom.la.
currently closed due to Governor Newsom's requirements for people to not mingle. But that is wisdom, wisdome.la. I am the host, MC, and DJ of that. We've done Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix, Grateful Dead, and a few other amazing shows with Dirty Bird and Insomniac.
it's unbelievable. Like,
Wow.
I have watched
My
him
God.
show people just the videos that he's taken
Yeah.
standing inside this place and blown people's minds away. And he's taking a video of what you would see when you're there.
Yeah, what's going on?
You know, it's like filming your TV, and but it's
I don't think there's any better exposure to the human eye.
No.
And what you're saying, let me tell you something, everybody. Go to see this. I don't understand it's temporarily not open due to COVID, but you got to
Put it
check
on
this
your
out just
calendars.
on the website alone, and you
go
have to see.
YouTube. YouTube has a bunch of the Desert
Yep.
Dwellers show is fully up there. Just type Desert Dwellers Johnathan Singer Wisdom, and it's a 2-hour concert on there.
Holy
It's
moly.
absolutely amazing visuals.
I haven't seen anything of that caliber yet, and I didn't even know we were there in some levels. Actually, I'm being inspired right now, which is awesome. And everyone that comes on this show, it's crazy.
Been a wild
And
ride.
you know what? But you make the times change. You're one of those people. So we have to ask
Dude,
you,
listen, I just want to say
Charlie.
something. You are looking at an example of dedication and belief in a dream. Because
That's right.
he came here, and the whole thing was domes, domes, domes. He's been pushing it. He was talking about him before anybody else was.
Held on
People
to it.
looked at him like he was crazy. People tried to steal it from him.
Stayed
People tried to
firm.
do stuff without him. I mean, it's like I've watched this ride for a long time, and I got to tell you, it's really...
Like Jumbie,
I
huh?
was
Kinda
happy.
like
I
Jumbie.
was very happy to see what he had thing going on in Wisdom. But when he brought it home to Las Vegas, where he's living, where he wanted to do it, where the ambition was to start this thing.
Yes.
You did all right, Charles.
Yeah,
Not bad for an orphan at
congratulations.
11,
I'm really
little
glad. No,
victim of a lawsuit.
No, very
times
rarely,
a million.
Very rarely can people hold to their creative values.
Yeah.
Especially say no to some corporate influence that just wants to come with money and they don't have the proper direction. So I do give you all the credit in the world. I'm glad you mentioned that. And
Yep.
and by the
Because
way,
people think it looks easy. Oh, he just dresses
No,
up
no,
in
no,
purple,
no, no,
walks
no.
around, and acts
No,
like
no,
a
no.
clown,
This
and
is
blah, blah,
clearly
blah.
a
You know,
lifetime of
crazy
work.
as
No.
a fox, okay,
No.
folks? Crazy as a fox.
5% fashion and 95% perspiration.
That's
well
right.
said, sir.
Nice one.
I like to tell them that I dress for me, and I don't care what they think. But listen, you've impressed me so much. And let me ask you this: where were you 1 year ago?
1 year ago.
Today,
Let's see.
if you can kind of,
I
what
can
were you
actually
doing
remember.
a year ago?
I just posted a picture actually of my 1 year anniversary. So
You did?
we had done a Jimi Hendrix show
Okay.
at Wisdom over the weekend, and I was the host and DJ of that. So we were doing about 2 of those a month, and then I just did a picture that said "Man, I miss Wisdom" on my Facebook, and it was me and a pretty girl that was going to be part of our dance team. So that was the only way I remember exactly what I was doing a year ago. And
Holy, can they
we-
see this, people?
No, it's not a public profile,
Oh.
but I could put it on Really Wonka. So
Fans only,
Yeah.
Charles.
my Instagram is as Really Wonka, not Willy. Willy's my deceased stepfather. I'm Charles A. Wonka. And if you want to go to that Instagram, you'll see my whole story from the word go, from the minute we started doing the dome at Container Park in 2015 with Tony Shea, rest his soul, and doing
What an
Android
amazing
Jones
man,
domes
Tony
with
Shea.
Lightning in a Bottle. We've done the domes at Coachella the last couple of years, and it's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun, and can't wait for the future.
Wow.
And let me tell you, Charles A. Wonka with those initials.
And I'm CAC, Charles Anthony Chelli. Hey, let me ask you this now.
Yes.
I hope it's not too personal, but
Okay.
what is, in regard to, so I know as Willy Wonka, I know when they originally made that movie with the wonderful deceased actor and everything like that, and how is it from your family?
It's a
Or
documentary,
did you,
actually,
okay, so that movie that came out was a documentary.
on what happened to me in the 70s.
There's
Yes.
actual family footage
Yeah.
in there. If you look
Holy
really
moly.
closely, you can
I
see
did
it in
not-
some of the
So I
scenes.
had
The
a-
coloring is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit darker, you know, like when they were getting it right back
and
in the
it's not
day.
the Johnny Depp one.
No,
I mean,
no,
I mean,
no,
the
man.
original.
No,
Johnny
the
Depp
original,
one,
dude.
The Johnny Depp one's rubbish. So
There's,
I had a
that was the first
Well,
lawsuit he ever initiated was over the Johnny Depp movie.
Correct. So I had a grandpa.
They're still in
I
litigation.
had a con man grandpa,
Jesus.
and my mom was a bit of a songstress. My dad out of the picture, and I had all four grandparents living under a house. I had a paper route, which was the only way we paid our way through with the lettuce water, which we used to eat all each day. And
Long cold winters.
And then one day I happened to find a ticket, and next thing you know, 4 brats die in different circumstances, and it was me and my grandpa Joe left standing. And of course, he thought he won the chocolate factory because that's the sort of guy he was.
What chocolate company was it?
It was the Wonka Chocolate Factory.
that issued that.
Yes, of course. So I took the name. I was originally Bucket, and took the name Wonka because my father was out of the picture, and so the Wonka factory was sold to Nestle.
True story.
Nestle.
So Nestle bought everything and basically zeroed out all of our legal problems because we had a lot of legal problems with the Oompa Loompas and the wrongful death lawsuits. The Salt family tried to take us for everything we were worth.
Well, tell us about the Milka lawsuit.
Yeah.
You went after them too for trying to take you on purple.
I can't talk about it.
Yeah,
Right, you're still
Let's
under
talk about
litigation.
positive.
All right,
Listen,
I know,
though,
but
I
there's
do
a
wanna
lot
ask you
going
this.
on here.
So you literally
It's a
got a
tumultuous
ticket.
world we live in.
Like the documentary movie shows, you got an actual ticket.
It was on the news.
That's I really didn't know that, and I'm such a fan of the original because I love Mel Brooks. And
People think the movie came, but it's my family's story came and then the movie.
well, I already know. I know from being in prison all them years. For marijuana, I read. Well, I know that everything started with a book or documentary. I know that, and now here you are proving it once again.
Correct.
And let me tell you something. I'm so in awe of the power that you're holding. That you're continuing this, man. And this is great.
It's just a cane.
No, it's more than that.
Love
It's obviously a lifestyle. And so with that ticket gave you what to the Wonka
Basically,
factory?
just a free tour, and
Okay.
I thought I'd lost everything because my grandpa talked me into taking some soda that almost got our heads chopped off. But as it turns out, all I had to do was just give away a bit of intellectual property back to him, and he said, "Congratulations, you've got yourself a chocolate factory." And I thought initially this was the best day of my life, but 3 years later, I've got nothing but depositions and lawsuits.
That was
And,
the salt.
And then I went to Loompa Land, freed all the Oompa Loompas, kind of was the Khaleesi of the Oompa Loompas.
Wait, so
and they
there
made-
is a Loompa Loompa land?
Yeah, it's off the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
maps, though, because of confidentiality. We don't want people going there. It's by Papua New Guinea.
And they
Wow.
actually worked.
On the east side.
So he said he saved them, but in reality,
It's
he was
really
just
on the
taking
west. I
advantage
just
of the
don't know.
fact that they didn't speak a lot of English and were willing to just work for anything. Because
And what country is this?
Loompa Land. It's in the Indian Ocean. I can't talk about it.
No,
where.
I mean, so what country were you in raised right now where you got the ticket?
I'm from Dover, England.
Okay, Dover, England. We didn't establish that.
Sorry about that.
No, it's no problem. And then there actually is an Oompa Loompa land.
Loompa Land.
Loompa land.
And
Loompa.
Oompa Loompas are from Loompa Land.
Okay, I got it. Wow, and thank you because I didn't want to overstep or be disrespectful
yes.
to your family in
Yeah, I
any
just
way.
can't-
Loompas are
I
sensitive
can't
now.
talk about where
Yeah.
it is because they're all
No, no problem.
living there, and if
Nah,
people
we
know
don't.
it's
We don't
real-
ever listen. Here, one thing about it, we only talk about things people are comfortable with.
You
and,
saw what
you
happened
know.
to Thailand after the movie The Beach. We don't want that sort to happen.
Nah,
to
we
Loompa
don't. We
Land.
don't want any negative.
Without his
from this, only
benevolence, they would
positive.
still be enslaved.
That's correct.
Okay, this is what I want to point out.
Farouk Assault would
But
have
they were
definitely
enslaved.
enslaved
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Well, it was sort of like an indentured servitude.
By
you know,
themselves.
They just
then
didn't know
like,
contracts.
They did get educated and housed and fed and
no,
health care.
It was all on the up and up. It's just when it came time to pay.
It was the shoe issue. The thing
Yeah.
the straw that broke the camel's back was when your father wouldn't buy them the new shoes.
Correct.
And that was the whole thing. The shoes were wearing thin. They were getting corns and calluses and
And
bunions.
what were
It was
they doing?
awful.
Mining? Or
Plus
what
he
were they
owned
doing over there?
Well, they were singing songs, and plus he owned all their masters, so they were amazing at spontaneous songs.
Oh, so there wasn't like manual labor.
Oh, there was. There was pouring sugar and
No, I mean
testing.
like they weren't hitting a spike in the ground all day mining
I
or
mean,
something. This was like for
what's work and what's play.
Chocolate.
Does this work? Who knows?
The chocolate
No, I'm
mines.
trying to paint a picture for the
Yeah,
audience and
I would
myself.
say
Trying to get an idea, and this is amazing.
They got free chocolate. It wasn't the hardest job in the world, but they weren't paid. And when OSHA found out about it, they were, not too happy.
Yeah, OSHA's
Yep,
never very
yep.
happy.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, OSHA's a difficult one.
Yep, they are.
Well, let me tell you something. I thought just when you think you've seen just about everything, look at this.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it. And so today, you now live in Vegas. We got you here.
Yeah. Correct.
That's great. So you established residence though in LA for a long time and knocked it out the park over there with that thing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I was just a cog in a wheel over there. I was just the
Oh,
guy
don't
on
say
stage,
that.
The
I
guy
don't
on
see you
stage
as a cog.
summoning the
Stop that.
souls of Jimi Hendrix. And,
See that?
Who's the singer that
He's
you have
even
that's
modest.
doing
You know what I
Hendrix?
mean?
I
It's like
know.
Who's
blinding.
performing
His
at
so
it?
name is
modest.
Randy Hansen. He actually performs in Vegas as well. He's actually partnered with the Hendrix family.
Oh,
and so,
wow.
Leroy, or I believe it's Leon and Randy actually do a song on stage together, talking about how it was used to be in the UK when they was growing up with Jimmy, and so it has the family's blessing.
Holy moly!
And,
Where can we find
Whoa,
him?
listen to this. Wait, there.
Oh my
wait,
God.
wait for it.
YouTube has I'm sure a bunch of clips of what we're
Isn't there
doing.
something very special about that appears during that show, the Hendrix show?
Yeah, we basically use the visuals and use people in a mass meditation to bring Jimmy back from the dead for about 2 hours, and that's what the ceremony that I do at the beginning is all about. Is if you just all concentrate hard enough, you can do almost anything. And what we did was
A joint conscious
all do
alignment.
a kind of a seance ceremony with some holograms, and we were able to basically bring him back for 2 hours, and we did that probably 30 shows from 18 to early
But
20.
wouldn't the crowd have to be elevated in order to
Oh,
receive
I'm
that
sure
conscience level?
I'm
that
sure
the
there was some of
consciousness.
that going on.
No,
I'm
but
not
as far as did you find that in mass it had to be a joint consciousness?
yeah, we all had to buy in. If people were
Correct.
skeptical, it wasn't going to work.
Okay, and you did this for 20 shows, you said?
I think more 20 to 30.
Holy
we
moly.
did the Pink Floyd one. We did probably 40.
It's like the
Were any
pennant
in
race,
this-
man.
were
You
any-
got to believe.
Right.
Were
We
any
had-
in this
we had
country?
Scott Page. We had Scott Page, who's the original sax player from Pink Floyd.
I
We had
remember,
a
yes.
couple of the background singers from Dark Side of the Moon, and about a 9-piece band that played it just perfect. And then we had 360-degree 5K resolution visuals. It was quite a sight to see when it was going. And we're hoping to buy that soon and bring it to a place where we could do a little bit later, because they were having us end at 11:30, which is a bit
In,
early for me. I don't
in
really
Cali,
get going
you mean?
until about 10. Yeah, so we had noise problems with the space. So we
You
want to
should
find a
use-
space
No,
by the highway where no one's
No,
going to complain.
forget the highway. We're going to find you a place that
thank
you can spread your wings,
I
okay?
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Look, I'm on the case now,
Oh.
okay?
Yeah, we
And
need about 4 or 5 acres.
Wow.
don't worry about
Yeah.
that. The thing about it is, though, you should have no barriers. If your brain is going to where it's going, your enlightenment and what you're trying to do, any barrier, it should be our job as everyone around you to try and remove all of these barriers. No problem.
We're the people we've been waiting for.
Well, you can't
This
say
is
it
a
any
historic
better.
Yeah.
moment, people.
Very historic.
Remember this.
And I'm gonna have to
Remember
get-
this day.
And also, too, I'm going to have to get a scepter now. I did have one. I had 2 good ones on
Hold it.
Halloween. I would love to. Am I
Wow.
worthy? Am I worthy?
The
Oh,
power
Whoa.
is transferring. See it.
Yeah! I can feel the energy harnessed.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And
Do you feel the power of Lumpaland channeling through those nerds?
No, I'm just I
they're
feel
infused.
very honored and humbled and thankful to.
You gotta open
to
yourself
even
up,
be
dude.
next to you, and thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Well, from one Charlie to another, you're a right gentleman.
Oh.
Thank you.
Jen, it was
That's
a pleasure.
That's
It
what
was
does
Charles,
it for me.
thank you
Definitely a
so much.
pleasure. I
Don't
could
forget
listen
the
to your
headphones.
stories.
No, of course not.
Listen, though, you got to tell them one more time slowly
Yeah.
where they have to go. Please,
Okay,
please, they
so-
have to go see this.
Here it
Area
is.
15 is the space is called the Portal. It's basically all the way near the back, sort of to the right of Meow Wolf, which will be opening in a couple weeks. That's opens February 18th. And our space is called the Portal, and it's basically behind Ardwood Bar, where there's a big fiber optic tree. You can see our space. There'll be a screen above it and people lining up. We do about 8 shows a day, and the tickets are $20, and that includes a drink.
And now Area 15, just so they know, is a.
That's at Spring Mountain and I-15. You can't miss it.
How would you describe the actual?
It's a mall of experiences,
Okay.
and it's a land of dreams. And
I agree with that.
We're still in the very infancy of what it's going to be. They've got all sorts of land around it. So in a year, it's going to be even bigger. But it's already got a lot of people coming to, and I think it's really making Vegas a lot less douchey because it's not about it's not about nightclubs anymore, and
yeah.
table service.
No,
it's
it's about-
having
that's
something
right.
memorable happen to you.
That's
And
right.
So we've got
It's
a
an
lot of
artist experience.
a lot of affordable
definitely.
things between $12 and $20 to do, and bring the whole family. It's a real kick in the pants.
It's the next level.
It
It's
is.
where it's where
I
it's
was
going.
taken there
Push
by,
it forward.
when Jumbie took me there one
Yeah,
time,
Jumbie's a
and
rock
and I got to tell you, I really. What they're doing it's the most unique platform I've seen yet, and where it is very easily located. It's just like we're literally like 2 blocks off the strip on the other side of 15. Very easy to get to. It's on
Just
Frank
put your
Sinatra. over there.
navigation in, because you can't get to it from Desert Inn, or you got to get to it from Desert Inn on the side road there. So you got to make sure you follow
Yep.
the navigation, because it is a bit tricky being under underpass there. But go south on Sahara and
Area 15.
and Teddy, and that's a much easier way to go.
Now,
Or
where
just go by Uber or Lyft
Yeah,
or
it's-
taxi
that's
or
better.
something.
If
If
you're
you're
gonna be
visiting from
drinking.
out of town,
and they also
just
you can bring a
call
double
your
date there.
concierge.
Bring as many
Yes.
people
They
as
have
you want.
wonderful food. The
Oh, yeah,
cabanas.
Todd
the-
English
I
has
thought-
a restaurant there called The Beast. He's a very nice cook.
So there's a great experience.
Chef.
And where can they follow you in particular to see what you're doing in this world?
I've got 2 Instagrams. I've
Oh,
got
that's
really,
great.
really Wonka,
Excellent.
and the Dome Man is my professional one with all the dome experiences.
Yes.
Exactly right.
I love that.
Gallery360.com, and it's GALLERIE instead of Y, and that is on both Facebook and a website, and then also on Instagram. You can see everything we're doing.
don't
Man.
mess it up. Do
Hey,
it.
I'm just really thankful for you to come in
Oh,
and share
Charlie,
this
it's a
experience
pleasure.
on here. We are trying to show and enlighten this show, and we do unscripted, no BS, and we enlighten. And let me just tell you something: you're what it's all about.
Appreciate that.
And I hope you're not going to leave, are you? I'm going to be able to see
You can
you.
enlighten the hat right now.
Oh my goodness! Look at that!
Oh,
We
it's
just did
lighting
enlighten
up.
it. And I was
Wow.
telling him that I was blessed with an ostrich feather after my last festival type thing. I was at someone's home and they had left with it, and this is the only other ostrich feather I've seen
Peacock.
since.
I'm
Oh,
part of-
peacock.
part of the
Okay,
peacock
peacock.
gang.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
peacock.
Very, very close. You're right. Peacock.
Peacock Posse. There's a few of us out there.
Correct. And a big shout out to England, L.A. You're not going to leave, are you? You're going to
I'll hang out.
Please do.
Nice.
So I definitely need to see you before you go.
Got
Okay.
nowhere to be. Right now, the chocolate's churning, and so I just kind of set it and forget it.
You
and,
can delay the carriage.
Yeah,
And listen, guys, I've talked to him. He's got a lot of things on the table. You got to monitor his growth right now because he's really onto something.
I appreciate
And
that.
thank you so much for blessing us
And
with your
away
pleasure,
we
okay?
go.
We
And
are the
away-
music makers. We are the dreamers of dreams, and it's up to you to make tomorrow better.
There you go.
Yes.
Well
Words
said.
to live by.
They are words to live by.
That is, right?
Almost like John Lennon words.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
They really are very
He's
close.
my hero.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. He's my hero too. Except for a little bit with the Yoko Ono, a little too much. But other than
Yeah.
that,
That was a mistake. But,
You don't have that kind of baggage.
Detour.
No baggage.
Artists get detoured. They're into a lot of things.
yeah, I'm Paulie.
You know, this is why actually Lennon is not eligible to be a Christ-like figure, and he is, because he's never been married.
I'm 3 miracles short.
Yeah, well, hey, you got time.
That would make me 4.
I got my money on you.
That would make me 4 or 5 miracles short.
I don't think the Pope would do it though. Once he sees every.
I hear he's open
The Pope-
negotiations on all fronts now, man. You see what's going on over there?
Oh, another thing I'd like to mention real quick. If you'd like to listen to my music, it's mixcloud.com/Archduke.
Well, give that to him one more time because your music is wonderful.
CLOUD.com/ARCHDUKE Archduke.
And,
It's
Nice.
worth listening to.
And as
I
you
can
know,
tell you
It's
right
not
now.
terrible.
behind us, so they put we have your thing on here where they can go right to your site too.
Wonderful.
And thank you so much.
I appreciate you
I'll
guys.
see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
We just got a little show left. We're going to get one more guest in, and then I can't wait to talk to you. This has been this is awakening day for me, man.
Yeah.
And Chris,
Yes.
Chris's friends are. This is unbelievable. Very blessed to be here today. All right, let's do it.
All right.
Moving right along with the show here.
As always.
Yeah, we've got John. John's here. And let me tell you something. He does something amazing. I was watching his channel with him, and I seriously couldn't stop. One video
stop.
goes into the other,
Yep.
into the other, and it's like you watch these things, and many times you get tired, you get over. No. He has absolutely nailed something, and now we're going to let him tell you what it is.
But real quick, I do want to say that when we were at Jumby's hanging out, you captivated everyone there with the show. So, and that's really important. That's why I know for a fact if these guys just look at any one of your shows, they're gonna be like, "Wow, the questions are wonderful." This is John.
Yeah, we're jaded.
Hey everybody! I just want to say thank you for having me, and
Of course, thanks for coming, dude.
Give
For your
me the
support,
opportunity
man.
to just tell you about what I do.
Love it. They have to know.
Our pleasure, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess it started with just, I wanted to do something that would captivate myself, and I figured
Yes.
if it's something that, interests me and something that I would like to watch, and, then maybe some other people would enjoy it as well. And so these are a lot of questions I had for myself, and it just kind of, just sparked a whole, chain of questions, and it just led to questions only lead to more questions. So,
But you have the answer, it seems.
Oh, I have all the answers. No, I actually,
He literally, like, every once in a while, guides, he'll give, like, you'll hear him, like, good answer. Or they'll say something and a follow-up question or something will sometimes completely stymie the people. They look at it and you just see, like, the lemons rolling in the slot machine.
His questions are loaded.
Yeah,
but they're
dude.
very valid and they're very cordial. They're nothing overwhelming. But
No. They're
They're very serious, and they're tell us about the double-ended questions.
Well, one other thing I was going to say also
Yeah.
about that is,
Please.
is the fact that I started to notice that, when I would ask a question, I would kind of anticipate, when I was writing the questions, I would kind of anticipate, how would a man answer this question? How would a woman answer this question? How would, your upbringing or just different people? And I started to hear patterns in the answers.
Yes.
And I'm just, so I could almost like predict and write a chain of questions and say, well, if I ask this question, they're probably going to answer this, which basically will lead to either this next question or this other question. And it became almost like a chess game where I kind of anticipate just how the conversation would go.
Wow.
It's well said. I see that.
So what would happen is
But
sometimes
some of the questions are almost checkmate, though.
Oh yeah,
In essence, really, they are. You're done.
Well, no, of course.
There's nowhere to run there.
For example, one that I could think of off the top of my head is, do you think that less attractive people tend to have more meaningful relationships? And, there might be a couple people who say no, but believe it or not, many people say yes. Most people say yes.
Correct.
So I say, okay, then if that's true, why would you, if you want to have a more meaningful relationship, why would you want to be attractive? And then it just causes that person to have this kind of like malfunction in their brain or something,
It's
or they
perfect.
just,
And
or
we
they,
get to
Yeah.
watch this malfunction on your show.
right, or just like it's this. I'm not trying to create a gotcha moment, but more of an aha moment where I kind of inspire them to just think for a second.
Yeah.
You believe this. More importantly, why do you believe this?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Open
It's
their
wonderful.
mind. Yeah, because usually people believe what they've been told all their life to believe.
Right.
And you're opening their mind to actually think for themselves.
But to go into
Yeah.
to go into the areas of love and bed and all these that he goes through, to do it in a way that doesn't offend the general public, it's very difficult.
Well, that's the thing. When I first started writing some of these questions, I realized that semantics is extremely, extremely important. Like I would say, I would.
It's everything.
It's everything. I would ask a question, for example, like, why do women blah blah blah, and I would practice on some of the female friends I have in my life, and they would say, oh, wait a second, you're insinuating all women, and I said, oh, not why do women, why do some women, why do most women, why do,
Right.
you know what I mean? And I kind of...
Why is it possible for a woman?
And by just changing one word,
Correct.
it changes the whole question.
Yeah,
Well,
it
you have
goes.
to-
It goes from a knuckle sandwich to an answer.
Well, he's out on the strip. He's actually he's going.
I know he's in harm's way.
He's
Are you
going out
kidding
on
me?
the Las Vegas Strip asking real people these questions. It's it's real. And he's
The
getting
one-
real reactions.
The one with the T-shirt salesman guy. She's saying, "I'm sitting there watching this thing. This guy's got T-shirts selling behind him. I never seen T-shirts like this in my life, and I live. I've never seen those T-shirts before."
So we have his thing behind us in order for you to see. But please, can you tell them where they can look so they can view it with us right now?
Okay.
Maybe-
So basically, what you would look for, you would go to youtube.com
Okay.
/ It's Complicated Channel with no spaces. It's Complicated Channel, no apostrophe, no spaces. The problem is that when you type that in, sometimes, like if you search for It's Complicated Channel, sometimes autocorrect, which is my worst enemy, will
All of ours.
We'll
Yeah.
space it out. So you have to make sure there's no spaces.
Autocorrect and Siri are like going to take over everything. Nobody's going to have to spell anything.
The best autocorrect joke I've ever seen was the person who invented autocorrect should burn in hello.
That's good.
I had a friend of mine the
Wow.
other day, and I had two words, and one came out like Shirley, and the other one came out Rachel, and I'm like, this is very bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can't talk
Yeah.
your way out of this.
No.
Like, oh, I'm going to go with Shirley, and then we're going to go get Rachel. And I forget what the heck it was about and what the words were. I can
Between
find it, but I'm using my
autocorrect
phone.
and the mapping things, yeah, they kick my butt all over the place. I have about one tirade a week, at least in the car. Very embarrassing. You never want to break down like that, but
And,
you know.
one other thing I wanted to mention that I did this was kind of a next step for me is
Tell us.
I created a what's called a QR code where basically now with the COVID and everything, you go into restaurants and they have, instead of paper menus,
Yes,
they give
yes.
you these codes that you can scan.
Yes.
Everybody has a smartphone.
Yes.
So you scan this and then it will take you directly to this website. So that's pretty much what
Sorry. I was trying to fix that and I messed it up. Sorry.
Okay. So that's pretty much what they'll do is, just it takes away the monotony of asking a person on the street, here, type this in. Oh, wait, no,
Yes.
not that. Take the
Oh,
spaces out.
nice.
Take the apostrophe
And
out.
your QR code's behind
Smart.
us now.
It's right there. It's on his laminate, too. Check it out.
Ah,
There it is.
Smart.
And we're all starting to do this now. He's very intelligent, and everything you
Totally.
see, it
I
might
want a QR code.
the best we have the best part. It's coming.
Yeah.
We're doing a times change. The whole thing. We're getting shirts and everything.
I took
With my name on it. I guess.
Yes. And the laugh.
And Chris
We're gonna
holding me-
press a button.
Chris holding
and
me
the
with a
laugh
leash,
is
like
gonna
in the
come.
back and a taser, like a cattle prod.
I got one.
I know
from one
you
of
do.
the
You
episodes.
showed
I know.
it
I
to me.
told you.
You
Yeah, I
sicko.
told you.
You did show me the cattle. He does have a cattle prod in his house. Yes.
But one other thing I was going to mention too is
for what I have no idea.
a lot of times when I approach people on the strip, I mean everybody's in a hurry. I mean literally
They are. But you're not only stopping them, right?
Right.
But you're. I mean, how many of what
Putting
we see
them at
on
risk.
This, yeah. Well, let me ask you this: of what we see that you're capturing, there. Let's say you get someone to answer the questions and chill with you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many people does it take for you to ask to get to one of those?
Are you talking about like how many people?
How many people do you have to go through before you get a receptive
before I
participant?
get somebody? Okay.
Yeah.
I would say maybe
That's hard work. I mean, you're live on the strip, man.
3, maybe 5 to 1, something like that.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
It's not
Are
terrible.
you screening?
Screening?
Are you somewhat screening in your selections?
Not necessarily. I try to talk to everybody. I mean, that's the
That's what it seemed. It seemed like you were talking to everybody.
Well, the best thing about the subject that I chose is that these are questions that apply to everybody.
Perfect.
So,
That's exactly what I thought.
You
Yeah.
know, when you go on
Beautiful.
the strip, I mean, I talk to all different races and genders and orientations and cultures and age groups and backgrounds, and everybody has a story to tell. Everybody can teach you something. And I just say, are there any universal truths out there? Or,
Well,
are
you're
there
finding
It's a
them.
great outlook.
People
Yeah.
come from different countries. I say, hey, in this country, in this culture, do women approach the men? Are we in a different time now? Does that matter? I mean, just do politics matter? Do just all these different things? What matters and what doesn't? It's almost like I'm taking a temperature reading of the world about how they feel about the most universal subject that we all care
Correct.
about.
And in particular, this country.
Well, I mean, I am in this country.
No, but I mean the temperature you're taking.
Yeah.
Most of the values that people are holding that would answer these questions that we see,
Right.
they're from this country. Maybe and that's another. So I think if you went over to, let's say, Europe, and you were in a different country,
Right.
I think a lot of your answers would be considerably different. You
Well,
know?
I would love to take the show on the road and go to Europe and
Wow,
do this.
yeah.
you know,
Road
That would be
trip. I'm
awesome.
ready.
Well, I gotta
Let's
tell
go.
you guys, as
I
far as
love
the
it
audience,
over there.
anyone who's seen these shows is captivated because it's the simplest of things. It's just a man asking someone an actual question, but it's captivating.
And-
the
and-
questions are perfect. He's a gentleman. He knows what he's doing. And these
Also,
are
to
real
add to this,
people.
he does it all himself too. He shoots,
does it,
he
yeah.
edits it, he puts it up there, and it's not
Yeah.
like he's working with people like, here, do this, whatever, and has a staff and stuff. I mean, he's a self-starter, and he's got this thing going. And
Yeah, and it's
that's
dude,
another thing we like and respect
That's
about it.
Well, and
Right?
he's somebody who's taking the bull by the horns
Totally.
in this time of COVID.
Yep.
So he's out of his profession currently, and instead of sitting on his butt, he's going out there and doing his dream
Yeah.
and doing something about
Right.
it.
Oh, so
And
like a year ago right now, what were you doing? Brooklyn Bowl was kicking everything. What was going on
He
there?
works at Brooklyn Bowl.
let's see.
January
Great venue
21st,
for-
2020.
1 year ago.
Well,
That's our question.
Let's see.
Where were you 1 year ago?
Well, let's see.
What were you doing a year ago? Absolutely.
My very first video I put out actually on New Year's Eve of 2019 into 2020.
Right.
And so I guess
It was a side project, though.
no. I mean, what happened was, I mean, I went through a lot of personal stuff in my life. I had to, move into another house, and I've
Your
been,
house is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
No problem. I say that rarely.
I wanted to basically just kind of get all the other distractions out of my life so I could just focus on this. And I had, pretty much just been, spending the maybe good year of, 2019 in my free time just writing this Bible of questions. And, and I still keep coming up with new questions all the time, or I revisit old questions and I reword them, or I add more questions, more follow-up questions to the chain. And it's just,
Wow.
To me, a lot of takeaways came from like an entrepreneurship class that I took in college, where it's basically like, anything that you want to create, you should be like your first customer. You know what I mean? You have to believe in what you're doing.
Correct.
Because then, because it's always
Don't tell anyone to do what you wouldn't do yourself.
it's all in the details. Like, for example, working at the music venue that I work at, Brooklyn Bowl, the guy who created that music venue, he's a diehard fan of the music, and he'd want to create the type of experience that he as a fan would want.
Right.
So, anything that you're going to create as an entrepreneur, you should create something
where
that-
you want to go, not what you
Yeah.
think other people want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Or what's the expression? Become the change that you wish to see in the world or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as being kind of like a one-man band where I do everything, there was a point where I wanted to have somebody else edit my stuff. And then I just said, you know what? Like, if I sit around waiting for other people, it's never going to get done. And
it'll
nowadays,
never be perfectly the way you want.
Well,
When you do it yourself, you could your questions are loaded, but the chess game,
well, don't get me wrong.
it takes you
Well,
to do it.
No, it would come out exactly like he wanted because he would be standing there working with an editor. But when he involves another person, it's just it's basically the scheduling, the money, and all the rest of it. And he
He's
just
doing it
realized he
himself.
could just get it done.
I also want to address something about the loaded questions or whatever it is, because some people have been critical of my stuff and said, well,
No,
you're asking
I didn't mean it in a negative way.
you're asking loaded or biased questions, and I'll be the first one to admit that some of my questions are, yes, they are biased, but that's only because I'm trying to expose that there is a bias.
Correct.
And I'm trying to maybe see if we can help bring about some balance.
Yeah, and I didn't mean anything
I like
negative by
that.
loaded.
I'm not saying you did.
What
I'm-
loaded means, I just took the
It's
term.
it's a
neutral term.
compliment where we're from.
Yeah, it's a real. I mean, if
You
you can
too.
ask someone a real question where they really can't actually give you that, when you get them stuck legitimately and you're not offending them, that's kind of like a loaded question. But it's not a negative. It's awesome. We need to face these questions. We need this.
Well, my thing is, I mean, there are some people where they just have a big problem, like, how dare you challenge me? And I'm saying, well, does the truth matter? Shouldn't we be on a quest to learn new information?
Absolutely.
I go out there and I just say, look, I'm just trying to understand what's going on, and is it this way or is it that way? All I'm trying to do is just not be an a-hole, you know what I mean?
And you're not.
I think you're very positive. This is the second time I think we've had you in the studio, and you just have like a positive vibe. And I think that's
Wonderful.
probably why so many people stop for you. You probably get a lot more people than an average person would get.
He's got a large
Yeah.
following.
Or
Yeah.
at
With
least
our dead
a
community, too.
passion. I think my passion is undeniable about this. But I will say another thing too. Having a camera definitely does not hurt you, because if I was just, I mean, what's interesting, sometimes I go out actually without my camera and I just approach people just to talk to them and just practice new questions. But when you have a camera, that
Does it
just
freak them out?
people think. I mean, I was wearing a Telemundo shirt for some, I just got a free shirt, and everyone's like walking past me. Oh, Telemundo! I want to be on television, whatever. And I'm like, I'm just, I mean, like I said, I mean, and one of the biggest compliments I can say is that when people are on vacation, they have such limited time, and
Yes.
some people will stop and talk to me for like 5 minutes, and some people will stop and talk to me for 45 minutes.
Yep.
And it's like a therapy session. And it's amazing. I'm giving them an opportunity to really open up about, just and sometimes I want to use, and what's interesting, and sometimes I'll shoot with someone for 45 minutes and use 5 seconds. But
Well, listen, but either way, it was still beneficial in some way.
no,
There's nothing negative coming out of anything you're doing. It's wonderful.
I personally have learned so much even about my own bias, and I think that's a wonderful thing because it's all about trying to find out how we can all just understand and learn from each other and do it in a constructive way where we're not kind of like making snap judgments or assumptions, and maybe there are assumptions and maybe there's some basis behind that. I mean, and maybe some things are just certain misconceptions that need to be deconstructed.
The
No.
world needs more empathy.
Dude, it's perfect.
Right.
What
You
you're
know,
doing
seriously,
is
look at
perfect.
through somebody else's eyes. That's the whole thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, and there it is.
Is it empathetic or is it just pathetic?
Dude, I tell you what. I mean, I think we're pathetically empathetic here on this show. Right.
What
said,
is
Sarah.
your favorite question and answer you've ever gotten? I know you have one.
Did
Well,
he do
well-
a year ago? Did he complete
Yes.
a year ago? He completed it?
Yeah, he absolutely did.
Okay.
Well,
fine.
and that's the other thing too is when I first started doing this, I wasn't sure am I going to do a documentary or what form is the question's going to take.
Sure.
And I'm glad I just settled on a YouTube channel because it's an ever evolving thing. I can keep going back to old material and then revisiting it and things like that.
That's cool.
I do have. She asked about my favorite questions. I will say that sometimes I go around. I have like certain opening questions, and I will say that for example, a lot of times with women who seem like they maybe are a lot of times I felt like if I would just go approach a woman to have a conversation with her just in general, they would just be very kind of standoffish, like, oh, are you hitting on me? What are you selling me? I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, no, they
Pretty
think you're
much.
selling them
That's
something
what we
out,
do.
right out the gate.
Right?
Well,
That's
everybody
true.
thinks you're selling
So do you
something.
take like
or a religion, one or the other.
And men as well. I mean, I've gotten all sorts of people just leave me alone or whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes I will just kind of approach them and say, hey, can I get a woman's perspective? Hey, I'm doing this documentary. Can I interview you? And sometimes I'll just go up to them and just ask them a question. And a lot of times it's good to start with an empowering question. For example, I ask women, okay, ladies, I need a woman's opinion. If there was one thing you wish that men understood better about women, what would that be? And all of a sudden they're like, this guy has actually something to say.
Right.
It's a
Or,
very
you know.
well thought out
Now-
question, man. It's perfect.
When do you approach him with getting them to sign like a waiver or something like that? Or, how does that whole thing work? Or is it because they're on the street and they're done, right? Public place, public spot, right?
Yes.
After they're in my
Sign
trunk,
here
after they're in my
blood.
trunk.
Yeah,
and I've kidnapped them,
yeah.
so-
Right? No, you don't have to because it's right. They're not in the open. You don't need
You
anything,
can
right?
get them to go to your
That's
trunk.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
No,
scary.
No. I get them to sign the form after I put them in my trunk and driven away.
Yeah.
And
Well,
stuff.
that's awesome. Now, do you have help for that?
Yeah, so we know a man.
Yeah.
We know a guy.
We don't know an editor. We just need two
We
guys.
don't know a guy.
No, we don't know a guy. We don't know a guy. But seriously, I know a guy.
And sometimes sometimes people are obviously they've been drinking, and so I can't necessarily approach them with the most deep and wordy question. I have to just ask them a simple question like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself? Or something like that. And everybody's a 10 apparently. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No
Really?
11s?
I would
What's
be
that?
like
No
a
11s?
six.
No,
I would say
no.
6.
Actually, I've gotten 1,000. Someone gave me 1,000.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
I said, wait. Are you telling me there's no room for improvement? I said, oh, no, always room for improvement. So it's interesting.
He wants
how the
to be a
conversations-
million.
He does.
Right.
How
But-
many shows are out now on the YouTube?
Well, I started by putting out a bunch of just raw material, raw footage, and at some point I'll probably just delete that stuff. But once I started to edit the stuff, I think I have about 20 of them, 20 sequences. And
I saw a bunch on there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I put a bunch out, and a lot of times I just kind of just stitch together a whole bunch of random questions, and I try to sometimes, put together common themes. Like in this episode, we're going to talk about role models, or we're going to talk about, is there a correlation between dog and cat people and how they approach relationships? Which actually reminds me, there's a meme.
I love that so much.
There's a meme I want to
That's
read.
a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
And there is a correlation.
There
really is.
There
Okay,
is.
all right. Listen.
He'll find it too.
Sometimes I'll just go up to a group
Checkmate.
of women and say this. I'll say, okay,
Here you go. Here, listen.
okay. Women are like cats. They want attention, but not too much, and only on their terms. And you never know where the line is before you get clawed. but if you ignore them, they'll come sit on you.
Yes.
And I
Well
said-
done, sir.
That was good.
I'll take 2. Yes.
So-
that was good.
I heard a good one the other day.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Sure you did.
Yeah, you ready? It
What
was men look at women like women look at shoes.
This
Okay.
could be.
How about that?
Yeah, this could
Right?
be it.
Right.
I'm a
Right.
shoe
And
whore myself.
I've told it to like 2 or 3 women, and not only have I not gotten decked, they're like, I understand that now. Did that put it in perspective for you? Now do you get it?
No, ladies, what it means is we want to literally have shelves of you.
Yeah, exactly, right? Who wants to have one pair of
On
shoes?
display.
Or one girl with multiple personalities.
Yeah, and those ones that are just so nice, you don't even want to wear them and hurt them. Like you just want to look at them every now and again
Right.
and know that you have them.
You got your Halloween shoes.
Yeah, well, the every now and again shoe.
Yeah.
Yep. Special occasion. Yep. And then you even have the shoes that you don't even think fit you right and would hurt all night, but they look so good and you love them that you still
exactly.
keep them, even though you know you're not going to put them on because they really will hurt all night. You know?
And you got the bowling shoes you actually then came home with, drunk, from the bowling alley. You forgot
Yep.
to change your shoes.
That's
You
right.
go up. Look at this.
That's right. And then there's the slipper.
Green and red.
Hey,
Slipper.
sometimes you have that old pair of worn out shoes that you just love.
They're
them,
go-to.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
They're
man.
broken in. They're broken in, just like the X.
Are they Converse or
Just like
Keds?
the X. The X is the old worn out, broken in shoe, right? Yeah, that would be that one. So, well, you listen. You've been wonderful. And how much more are you going to be doing of this? Tell me, like, how often are you getting out on the strip right now?
Well, I mean, it's obviously a beautiful day right now to be inside, shooting an interview in a studio. So
Yeah, no doubt.
is.
But no, I was gonna say, obviously after this, I mean, I keep my camera with me all the time, and I just figured, all right, I'm probably gonna head to the strip right from here and go out. I mean, see, my thing is, I still have so many questions that I personally just want to know the answer to, So it's like
It's fueling
you, the audience, doesn't even get to find out until I first get the answers, just for myself. I'm doing this for myself. And I'm bringing you all with me. You know what I mean?
That's the best way because at the end of the day,
You like check it out, like you write down your answers, see if you pass the test when you get home, kind of thing. Nobody came up with my answers.
Am I weird?
Just typically, I guess, like when you're on a date and stuff, it's almost like a job interview and stuff. And they say that women always, not always, but I mean, often they're putting men through these tests and stuff, right? I'm saying, well, let me kind of flip the script a little bit and test them a little bit and see, kind of like what they're all about and how they respond to these situations and these challenges.
It's very, very
Right.
eye-opening.
Nice.
It's very eye-opening.
And a lot of women like a challenge, and they
Absolutely.
appreciate that. You know what I mean? So
yes, they do. As we all somewhat do. You know what I mean? And you certainly create every kind of answer the way you put them on the front there. It's wonderful. And
Can't stop watching.
no, we couldn't.
I told you, I'm
were-
telling you.
Yeah, we were at Jumpy's the other night. We couldn't stop watching.
Roll
Jen, have
it.
you seen
Wonder
it?
what number.
Oh, yeah. You sent it to me.
Oh,
Great.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! But it's so simple.
Yeah,
but yet,
I think that he should ask us the questions on his next show.
okay.
Yeah,
well,
we
maybe
get to
do
be
we
on
have
your
time
show.
for one now?
I don't know, man.
Oh, okay.
We'll have
Well,
to
we have
wait
to- we
and
gotta
see
be
it
on the
his
street.
YouTube account.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to go down there.
What would be just one general quick question that maybe you find that you could ask any person and that we can get a good, something
What is the purpose of dating?
to find your one?
To find your
one.
Okay. And then after
That's
that,
my
I'll
answer.
say,
No. You
okay.
gotta- Chris, purpose of dating?
Damn. Purpose of dating. You say it depends on. I think it really depends on the individual. Yes, there's some people that are out there looking to get into a relationship. There's other people that are out there looking to get from relationship to relationship to relationship.
Well,
That's what it
when-
means to me.
When you're out there,
I mean, I'm married. I'm out of the game.
when
it's hard
you're-
for me to answer this question.
But you
I'm going to
mean-
get clobbered for that last remark I made.
Oh no! I mean, like when he was single, what was his?
When I ask these questions, I'm just saying there's so many different areas that things can branch off to.
Like getting
So-
clobbered?
Yeah, pretty much.
It always ends up with somebody getting clobbered.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I mean, sometimes I start with like more kind of fluffy questions, and then sometimes I'll get into some.
You have a fluffer.
Sometimes I'll get into. Sometimes I'll get into some
That
controversial.
again.
That's
Sometimes I'll
wow.
get. Sometimes
That's like
I'll-
a porn movie. You have a little fluffer. Amazing.
Oh, fluffy
So
questions.
you had instead of
Look, first of all, they don't exist. Fluffers don't exist. This is I wanted to
apparently they do
dispel
now.
this myth. No, it is absolutely they don't exist.
What do you mean they started? It's a job.
I know.
They
I know.
prepare. They prepare.
I know.
Some sets
They
don't
have
Some
a
sets don't
budget
have-
for somebody that's doing that as a job. Okay, that's not a job. It's something you might be doing on set. Like if you don't
It's a
get
dream
coffee,
job.
get a clipboard, clean the.
Speaking of which, I just want to mention also that one of my most popular videos is I went to the Adult Video Awards and I interviewed some porn stars and asked them these questions as well. So
Excellent.
that was kind of a treat. And I asked some more sexual based questions, but also relationship questions.
Did you
'cause they
touch on
are,
the fluffers at all?
You're not allowed to touch anything.
No, the fluffers though. Did any of them?
But that was a great. It was a
touch
great
the fluffers. I mean, did you
answer.
touch on that in the
answer.
interview?
We asked them
That
like,
was
so how was the
great.
weather? Oh, you're not allowed to touch them.
touch
You can't touch them. Yeah, that was it. Was it sunny
They can
out?
have
You can't
bodyguards.
touch
He
them.
was raised better than that. He knew not to touch anything.
They can touch you, but you can't touch them.
Thanks. We got that. We got that from your response. Very good. Also, if you want to touch them, they probably have the blow-up doll for sale behind them. Of them.
Of course. Oh yeah. Just in case you didn't know,
And they got the tacky ones are discounted.
there is a growing market for sex bots. Just so you know. Okay.
Oh yes, they're very popular, and Jen is also in the mannequin game as well. So she might, did you know that?
Oh no, I didn't know that. But
I think
yeah.
you just
Yeah.
scared
In the
him.
mannequin.
Just
Yeah,
dropped
yeah.
a doozy right
Yeah,
there.
that could
Oh,
be
just
one of your loaded questions
hairstylist.
going into
Yeah,
that. Don't,
yeah.
don't listen. Don't try and get out
Yeah,
of it.
I'm not
okay?
gonna.
Don't try
I'm
and
not
have
even
it.
gonna touch it.
And speaking of that, how wonderful is
You know
the
what I was
Mode
thinking, though?
Salon? Mode Salon.
Yeah, Mode Salon. No, I was thinking when Jen told that story about the mannequin heads and everything inside the thing.
Ridiculous.
I was thinking,
I ever
what
saw
would
that,
have been
I would
even
just
better if
shit.
somebody had been falling behind with all the bodies without the heads in them, like in
That
a
would've
duffel
been
bag. You know, like a
amazing.
hockey bag with like 9 of them in
Totally.
there.
Like
That's
Joe
what was
Pesci.
missing.
Yeah,
I
but
love that movie.
I got to tell you though, it's just having. She actually, she admitted to us that she has sometimes trouble when she's traveling with the heads of mannequins.
You know,
In her
there
suitcase.
There used to be like there are people who actually have fetishes about mannequins, like they collect
Yeah.
mannequins and they have
There
these
you go.
bizarre.
Oh yeah, I'm not that person.
There's something
I'm
for
just
everyone.
a hairstylist.
There is, and Jen is satisfying a lot of needs with the mannequin. Okay, over there, at Mode Salon. Hey, so we really appreciate
me.
you coming on, John. You're so wonderful, and a big shout out to our Grateful Dead community as well,
Absolutely.
Dead family and everything. And Chris,
Tell me, sir.
What
You
was
ready to
your
get out of here?
yeah, but what was your favorite show of his? Was it any? Or did this kept going, right?
The one where it had the woman with the short platinum hair.
Yeah,
That was in front of
Yeah.
that. I forget what she was in front of, but that one absolutely.
She was on the
awesome.
side, like it was like they took a step in off the strip.
Yeah.
yeah.
And-
Exactly right.
She
Well,
was straight shooter.
Do you want me to just comment on that real quick or?
Totally.
Yeah.
Please.
One thing I was just going to mention
Thank
also
you.
is I don't know if I'm always going to do the street interviews. I mean, I also sometimes want to do kind of like, maybe sit down interviews with somebody or one-off interviews where maybe we can get into a little bit more deeper material. Sometimes I'll touch upon some controversial topics a little bit and everything because
Right.
I think that these are important things to talk about and do it in a way where it's done, tactfully and respectfully, but at the same time, I don't want to water down things where, they just get glossed over. I mean, these are things that need to be talked about, and I want to get, these conversations out there because I think that just planting the seed and creating that dialogue is only going to benefit all of us.
It's healthy.
Yeah. I
agree.
People are cooped up inside their room, screaming and yelling on Twitter, and absolutely, losing complete social manners
Perhaps
and how
there's
we
a-
talk to people and everything, and it's so destructive, you know.
Maybe
The
there's
thing
a way
that's
he could do
crazy,
it on
technology was supposed to give us more time and make our lives easier, and it's taken all of your time and made your life really more difficult in so many ways.
Can I comment on that also real quick?
Please do.
One other thing I was going to mention also is one of the most common things I hear from both sides, men and women. They say, "Oh, it's all about communication," and I respond to that and say, "Well, that's great, but." The problem is nobody communicates, right? Everyone talks about the importance, but most people prefer texting instead of talking,
Right.
socializing where it's too loud,
Right.
not engaging with their environment, and not giving their undivided attention. And I've even had people say, "Oh, I don't even deal with confrontation." And I'm like, "Well, you can have confrontation without hostility.
Certainly.
So if you say you don't do confrontation, aren't you really admitting that you don't even do communication?" It's just so I'm
Right.
just
Or they can't see the difference between the two, right?
Well said.
well, right. And like I said, so much of
They're
it.
a synonym and they're not.
Some people are very self-aware and some people just lack self-awareness, and I try not to be the judge and jury on that. I just throw it out on the channel and you watch and you decide for yourself and you see how's it working for this person and how does this person come across, and you can kind of just make up your own conclusions.
Maybe you could figure out a way to get it on Zoom. Do just Zoom people at home. Get them,
But hey, listen. On that note, we got to shut this down.
Oh, all
It's
right.
time.
All right, guys.
Song in the background. That's the end of it.
Thank you for
so
Quirky
much.
Minds
Thank you
Media
for coming.
and James for hosting us here in the Mode Salon. It's wonderful, and Jen and our wonderful guest John.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and our guest before. Unbelievable.
Charles Wonka.
Yes.
Unreal, man.
Area
that guy was
15.
serious. All the
The
technical help
Archduke
we're getting
of
here. Thank
Lumpaland.
you. And Chris, you're wonderful.
Hey, we'll see you next time. This is Times Change.